What's up guys, I'm Cole.
And I'm Abby.
And today we are counting down the top 5 places to visit in Kauai.
We were only there for a month, but we still had time to figure out our favorite places.
Coming in number 5 is Makalea Trail. It's a 2.5 mile out, 2.5 mile back trail on the west side of Kauai.
But make sure to budget your time because it takes a long time. Also, disclaimer, if it has been raining, do not do this trail. You will most likely die in a flash flood.
The trail goes along a river and you cross it a bunch of times.
The first time we tried it, it had been raining and we didn't know about the flash floods. River was pretty high.
Yeah, we made it probably like a half mile that day. We went through the bamboo forest, which is awesome, but it also means the water collects in there, and it is probably the muddiest thing ever. We fell, I don't know, probably like
countless times.
We fell so many times. It was ridiculous, covered in mud.
And at the end, there's a waterfall with a massive rope to climb and jump down. So the trail's marked with little trail markers, little pink and orange flags, all the way up and all the way back. Somehow, on the way back, the trail had just disappeared and it was starting to rain. We had no idea where we were. We knew the river was on our right and we were trying to go down. Don't know how we found the trail, thought we were lost in the woods.
Yeah, we went back and forth and everything kind of looks the same, and it was hard to tell which way was up and which way was down. And if you do get lost like we did, stay in one spot, do not move. What we did is we just started going, and we ended up going off trail so much that we were just bushwhacking for probably like 30 minutes, just hoping we would find a trail, but we were kind of going up and down. It was the worst.
Time for number 4, Sleeping Giant Hike.
This is a far more accessible trail than Makalea. Anyone can do it. It is steep and it does get super hot. So I recommend starting early in the morning. We started around noon and it was a little bit miserable, but it was still totally worth it once we got to the top.
There's a west side, which is really hot, and an east side, which is hot but cooler. Great for sunset too.
And when you get to the top, you're on this ridge with about 100-foot drops on both sides.
And if you're hungry, just keep a lookout. Guavas everywhere along the trail, especially if you're there in like August, September.
When we went up, I probably ate like 100 of them. So good. Next up is number 3, Waimea Canyon.
If you've ever been to the Grand Canyon or even seen pictures of it, imagine that. Way smaller, but way cooler. And if you manage to get there when the clouds are out, you are in for some crazy views.
Make sure to budget like a full day for this because you do have to go up the canyon, and the drive from like the beginning of the canyon to the end is about an hour and a half, but along the way there's so many epic spots to stop, go for a hike. The one we did was Wailua Falls, and it was about 2 miles out, 2 miles back, pretty easy hike, and the views at the end were absolutely insane.
It's also a really cool historical spot because up in the walls of the canyon are old burial sites. When you get to the waterfall, there's the one up and then the one down.
Also note that you do go up to about 6,000 feet, so it can get a little bit cooler up there, and it rains a ton, so bring a jacket.
And now that you got a preview of the Nepali coast, number 2, Kalalau Trail and the whole coast.
Kalalau Trail follows the Nepali coast, and it's probably the most famous hike in all of Kauai.
Probably all of Hawaii. When we went, we only did 2 miles in and 2 miles back. It takes you to a nice little beach, but you need a permit to go any farther, and it gets rough. You can take boats all the way to the end, and there's a fruit orchard. But if you do the hike, there's this little tiny rock ledge that goes for about 1 mile, starting at mile 7. And you are on a drop of doom for the entire mile. If you are not sure-footed or scared of heights like me, it's gonna test you.
Yeah, and I think it's about 11 miles to the end, so it's definitely a camping thing. You're not really gonna do this in one day. But like we did, just a 2 miles out, 2 miles back, easy day hike. Always start in the morning because it gets incredibly hot. And also there's a river that goes through the beach, and you have to cross that, and you have to jump from rock to rock. So if it has been raining, the river's gonna be higher, and you're probably only gonna be able to cross there.
Right before the hike, or in the evening when you're done, there's Kauai Beach.
And it's also a great place for a nighttime bonfire. Drum roll, coming in number 1 is going to be Queen's Bath.
This is our top destination in all of Kauai. It is this lava rock formation that forms this pool, kind of separate from the ocean, where royalty actually used to bathe, hence the name Queen's Bath. All these places to cliff jump with turtles and snorkeling.
Bring your snorkel gear because there's lots of fish in there. And do not get in if it looks like the tides are coming up into the bath, which happens all the time.
You can be on the edge with the water calm, and out of nowhere this wave will come and that's suck you out to sea. Parking's pretty tough. There's only about 10 spots and Queen's Bath is usually pretty crowded. You have to be pretty sure-footed or wear some good shoes if you're not, because there's a short but steep hike all the way down. Make sure to follow the trail because there are nesting birds off the trail, and if you walk on top you will crush their little burrows and they will die, so don't do that. And finally, for honorable mention, we have Shipwrecks Beach.
It's this awesome little beach and it's got tons of rocks. It's actually pretty cool. When the waves come in, it pushes the rocks up the sand.
It's like Zen rocks just tumbling constantly. It sounds so cool. There's also kind of a cliff that you can climb up on and jump off if you're into cliff jumping. Be careful. There is a shark cove underneath where they sleep. And when we were there one time, he was out swimming and I was like, you gotta come in, because there's just a little fin going around kind of by the cove. So watch out for sharks if you're there. Usually it's not a problem, but be mindful. But if you go around the other side of the cliff and just look down and watch, you'll see so many turtles just hanging out everywhere. And it's a cool little hike up.
And be sure to check out some of our earlier videos. When we were in Kauai, we show you some more epic spots.
And if you're coming to Hawaii, maybe Maui, we've got some top 5 coming at you for Maui.
Ooh.